Hello everyone, welcome to EditApp. So in today's session, we are going to discuss a very important topic of economic syllabus for the SEBI Grade A 2022. That is, we are going to discuss about the classical theory of output and employment. In the previous session, we have discussed about the national income accounting. So before starting with this important topic of the classical theory, there is a big announcement from EditApp that we are providing for the SEBI Grade A legal officer practice 5000 plus MCQs, and that also chapter wise. Okay, and you can get free 500 plus MCQs, and to know more about this offer you can check out in the description box below. So now starting with the classical beliefs, that what classicals believed in as well as what are the assumptions that are adopted by the classicals. So first of all, classicals believed in the Say's law, that is supply creates its own demand. This is said by the French economist. This was said by the French economist Jean-Baptiste Say. Okay, so he said that the supply creates its own demand, that the production that is being created in the economy will create its own demand. So that was what the classical believed in, and that's why they were the supply side economists. They believed that the supply side economic is the most important thing that we have to focus on, the supply side. Next is free market economy. Now the classicals believed in the laissez-faire economy, that is a free market economy where the government interference is not there in the market. Next is that the full employment of labor is believed by the classicals, that in the long run the economy will reach in the full employment, that all the labor that want to get employed will be employed in the economy. That is, there will be some frictional unemployment. Okay, that is when you are changing from one job to another. So that kind of unemployment will be there, but that unemployment is what you are doing yourself. Okay, so full employment of labor means that all the people that want to get employed are employed in the economy. Next is wage price flexibility. So the classicals believe that in the economy the wages and the prices are very flexible. Okay, as the conditions are changing, the wages can increase or decrease and the prices can increase or decrease. So there is a wage price flexibility. Next is saving investment equality, that savings will be equal to the investment in the economy, and this is as per se both depend on the interest rate, and we will see that how the saving will be equal to investment due to the interest rate. So this is all the classicals believed in, or the assumptions, and there are some other assumptions, that is the perfect competition was believed by the classicals. It was believed that there is a symmetric knowledge, that is with all the participants in the market, as well as that the capital stock is fixed, the knowledge is fixed. So this kind of assumptions were taken by the classicals, but most important assumptions I have discussed with you, that what they believed in and what are the assumptions taken by them. Okay, so now we can go forward to the determination of output and employment, that how the output and employment get determined in the economy. See, in the x-axis you are taking the employment level, and in the y-axis you are taking the real wage. Now what is the real wage? That is the nominal wage, that is taken in the numerator, and the prices are taken, price level is taken in the denominator, that is what is the inflation. So when the nominal wage is taken in the numerator and the prices are taken in the denominator, that we call the real wage. Okay, real wage just tells you that what is the effect of the wages on the goods and services, that with this wage how much goods and services you can buy. Nominal wage takes into account the inflation also, real wage do not take into account the inflation. So right now here, as you can see, that at this price, that real wage 1, we can say the supply is more. This is the supply of labor, that how much labor are want to do work at this wage rate, and this is the demand of labor, that how much the firms are demanding the labor. And supply tells us that how many workers want to work. Okay, so at this wage level, the workers that want to work are at B level, that is the workers that want to work, the supply of labor is more, and the demand for labor at a higher wage rate is less. It is at A point, that is it is less. So when the supply is more than demand of labor, then what will happen, that the real wages will go down. Okay, because the supply is more and the demand is less of the labor, so more workers want to work, so the real wages will go down, and it will come to here, where the supply is equal to the demand, where the supply of labor is equal to the demand of the labor that the firms want to employ at this wage rate. So this is what we call the full employment real wage rate, or this is what we call the full employment level of the level in the economy. Okay, at this level the employment of labor is at full employment, and the output is the full employment level of output. This is the full employment level of output. After that, what will happen, that the output cannot increase. Here what was happening, that when the employment was increasing, then the output was also increasing, because when you are hiring more workers, the more workers, what will they do? They will produce more. So when the employment increases, the output also increases. But at the full employment level, now the employment is full. Now you cannot hire more workers. So the output will also be fixed at this level. The output cannot increase when there are no laborers left to work now. So output is at the full employment level of output, and the laborers are at the full employment also. So this is the determination of output, that the output is determined here when there is a full employment level of full employment of laborers. So next, classical aggregate supply curve. Now we have seen that the supply curve in the previous slide was that when the employment were increasing, the output was also increasing, the supply was also increasing. But when the full employment of labor was reached, there was a full employment level of output also. But now we will see that the classical aggregate supply curve, that in the long run the classicals believed that the supply curve is vertical, that in the long run when there is a full employment level, then the output cannot increase further. The real production, that is the real output, cannot increase further. Even if the prices increase to too much, then also there will be no effect on the output, and this we can say the classical dichotomy. That is, the classicals believed that in the long run when the full employment is reached, there is no effect. There is no effect in the long run of the nominal variables on the real variables. Okay, real variable means that you are really doing something in the economy, really something happening in the economy, the real production is there. And the nominal variables are the monetary variables like the price and the money supply. Okay, so when the nominal variables are changing, that is the prices are increasing, there will be no effect on the real goods. Okay, in the long run. This is what the classicals believed, and that's why the classical aggregate supply curve in the long run is a vertical supply curve. That is, the supply cannot increase further on, because now there is a full employment level in the full employment of laborers. So next is saving and investment. I told you that the saving, the classicals believed that the saving will be equal to the investment. Okay, that is, now we will see the logic behind it, that why they believed such a thing. That is, when the interest rate, savings and investment, they believe that the saving and investment both depends on the interest rate. That is, let's say the interest rate is RE, that is, and then the saving will be equal to the investment in the economy. But what if the interest rate is more? Then the saving is greater than the investment. That is, when the interest rates are very high, why will you want to take the loans? Why will you want to do the investment when the interest rate is high? You will rather save the money. Okay, and when the savings are very much in the economy and no one is taking the loans, then what will happen? That the interest rate will go down itself. Okay, because no one is taking the loan, or loans have become, the investment has become very less and the saving is more. So the interest rate will go down and reach this level. While if the interest rate is very low, then more people will take money to invest. Okay, and less people will save because the interest rate is very low. So there is like less opportunity cost, or we can say the less people are wanting to put their money in the banks. So the saving is less and the investment is very high. And when the more people are taking investments, when more people are taking the loan to do investment, then what will happen? The interest rate will rise and it will reach the equilibrium level where the saving will be equal to the investment. Okay, so even if the saving is greater than investment or saving is less than investment, what will happen? That in both the cases they will go to a path where they will reach to saving equal to investment. I hope you have understood this logic and this was what the classicals believed. So thank you very much. I hope you have understood the three graphs that we discussed today, that is the determination of output and employment together, as well as the classical aggregate supply curve, that it is a long run supply curve which is a vertical. In the short run, in the short run, what is happening, that with the employment is increasing, the output will also increase. Okay, when the laborers are increasing, they will produce something, na? So output will also increase. But in the case when the employment is at full level, at the full employment, the output has reached to its maximum point. After that, you cannot increase the output. So after that, that is in the long run, when there is full employment, then the classical aggregate supply curve was a vertical supply curve. Then saving and investment, we saw that why the classicals believe that saving and investment are equal, because due to the interest rate, that if saving is greater than investment, then the interest rate will go down, and when saving is less than investment, the interest rate will go up, and they will reach to a equilibrium point where saving is equal to investment. So thank you very much, and if you have any query, you can mail us here or you can contact us through this number. Thank you.